Are Trump and Musk behind the vandalizing of Teslas? Did the felon sign or not sign the Alien Enemies Act? And Anonymous released a video claiming to have evidence of election interference. What evidence? Will it be released? Let's look into that. And then let's also take a look at the felon and how he's going to do in the month of April. Remember, we have an eclipse um, Saturday, the 29th, which I think might cause him some issues. But let's look into all that. So when the felon truthed, I guess, first of all, let me take just a moment here. To all the new subscribers, a huge, huge thank you. To those of you in the comments pushing people to subscribe, and, you know, huge, huge thank you. We've had a big number of new subscribers from the last video. So huge, huge thank you. If you watch the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos, share the videos, all of that helps the algorithm. So huge, huge thank you. If you've given money through Buy Me a Coffee or Venmo or the super thanks, a big, big thank you. It just really, I can't say thank you enough. I am overwhelmed by the amount of support that this channel has gotten in the short, uh, I guess maybe we're just a little over 3 months old. So uh, that's great. Okay. So when the felon first truthed or tweeted or whatever you want to call it, that people found vandalizing Teslas will get 20 years in prison. First of all, I don't know what the vandalizing laws are like everywhere in the country, but I don't think 20 years seems proportionate to the crime. Um, so there's kind of a big hint there. Usually when he exaggerates, kind of makes you wonder what's his hand in this. And then Musk said something about, oh, I think some transgendered people are behind this right after his child uh, wrote a piece about, um, how terrible of a father he is. And the child happens to be transgender. So let's look into that. Our felon is the felon or Elon behind this vandalization? In one way or another, are they encouraging MAGA people to do it? Are they encouraging people to do it? Clearly, they aren't doing it themselves, but is it their supporters that are doing it? So if you go back, I don't know which video it was. I tried to find it. I don't probably title my videos very well, but I predicted the crash of Tesla stock back in it was either late December, early January. I said it was gonna completely crash this year, and sure enough, it has. It's down like 45% or something. So there's the card for the felon underneath. The King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the card for the felon. Okay. So is the felon or Musk behind getting people to vandalize these Teslas? I think so. In the image, I just see or in the water, I just see an image of a red hat. Now, clearly, I don't think people are running around with MAGA hats and doing this, but it could be something that if the police do catch them, find in their apartments. So we get the Five of Swords. It's an interesting signifier card. It could be wounded in battle. It also could be the victor and the victim in the background. Here it kind of, if you just look at the face of the guy on the Five of Swords, he just got this smug face looking to him, like, it's like I bested you, which makes me think that they're behind it. Yeah, the challenge is the Emperor card. The challenge is abuse of power, the presidency, and how to keep it unlinked from that. We get wish fulfillment. I think Musk thinks that this might garner sympathy. He was basically begging his employees not to sell their stock options this week. And part of that, my understanding, and I could be wrong on this one, but my understanding with part of the Twitter deal was that Tesla stock was used as collateral to get a loan to pay for that. And if the stock falls below a certain price, I don't know how many shares he put up as collateral, but uh, it's a possibility that that loan gets, has like a margin call type of effect to it. So he could be worried about that as well. Fiery messages in the past. I think this is just the cars being burnt. The actual act of the vandalism, I think that's all that is. It's in the past, although there still might be more of it in the future. We get the King of Wands. Again, very fiery type energy. Like who's ever leading this charge, it feels like it's very well organized. I don't think it's random. I think they're very clear on what they're doing and where they're doing it at. In the near term future, we get the Two Wands, which is about crossroads. And the imagery here I think is also good. This is just the Rider Waite tarot. The person's sitting there looking out over the sea, staring at a globe, right? Realizing that you know this problem that Musk is having is worldwide. Teslas aren't selling in the United States. They're not selling in Canada. They're not selling in a lot of places. They had to recall the big ugly trucks because the side panels were falling off. I don't know if they were using a glue stick or what to put them together, but um, there's huge problems for Tesla. We get the Seven of Swords. This is the illusion and delusion card. Could also refer to substance abuse. But I really do think that Musk is so intellectually ill-equipped and emotionally ill-equipped to realize that working for the Trump presidency would negatively affect his brand. It's like, who buys EVs? I have a feeling it's not MAGA folk. Um, so I think you really misjudged that. We get the King of Swords. Like, use your head, use your logic, piece this together. Who's benefiting from this? Well, if you can't sell a car, you know, burning it down is a way to get your money back, right? I'm sure these things are insured. I'm sure we'll start to hear about that. We get the Queen of Cups and the hopes and fears. This is, leadership that's emotionally mature. That's the hope. The fear is that we don't have that, which I'm sure we don't, not in those two. There's going to be some sort of message coming forward about money. I think that might be insurance settlements. We have unlikely partnerships with the lovers. Sorry, I have to cover the nudity, otherwise YouTube flags these things, although this is like the most naive nudity that there possibly could be. So unlikely partnerships, feeling isolated and alone. Those are all yes cards in the outcome. Underneath, we have intergenerational relationships. Yeah, here we go. Deceit, deception, fraud, theft with the Seven of Swords. A message coming forward, the truth being revealed. and then complete and utter downfall. So I do think they're behind this somehow. Now, do I think they're giving direct orders to people? No. Do I think that they've told some people it'd be nice if this happens and those people made it happen? Yeah, that's kind of what I think happened. Okay, so I think watch for that and see, because this could be a really big problem, especially if they collect insurance money, or if Elon collects insurance money. That could be insurance fraud for entertainment purposes only. So the court hearing about the Alien Enemies Act. That's a terrible name for a law and hard for me to say because of the vowel clusters, but um, the Alien Enemies Act. They were in court because the judge ruled that they were improperly using this law. This happened like in a whirlwind type of thing. They enacted it, the judge put it on hold, said the flights needed to be returned. They weren't returned. Um, Judge didn't seem very happy about it. The judge called the lawyers for the felon disrespectful. And then all of a sudden, the felon says, well, I didn't sign that. Well, if he didn't sign it, then basically we have people making huge decisions for the government without permission. So that doesn't make him look good. That makes him look incompetent at best, uh, a dereliction of duty at worst, I guess. And if he did sign it, well, then he knowingly violated a court order. So, and I think there'll be consequences for that. So, did the did the felon sign it? Yeah, this is like one of those signs where I'm just getting the big flashing yes. He knows he signed it. He's just trying to avoid any consequence for himself, because in felon land, it is always felon first, everybody else last. I don't even think there's a second place. I don't think his kids even finish second. I think it's felon, 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 and that's it. Okay. Yeah, he signed it. That's a yes card, the strength card. The challenge is he knows that this is a huge problem for him. Violating a court order is a big deal. And US Marshals can go in and certainly detain people like the Department of Homeland Security, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, right? Um, it could become a real big issue. He thought he had won by defying the court order. He really did, the victory card, the Six of Wands. He thought that he had won because he doesn't comprehend how the government works, which is very frightening. Yeah, they're trying to get away with things with the Seven of Swords, deceit, deception, dishonesty. It was all a big ruse in order to try to have plausible deniability. I don't think it's going to work because his signature's on the thing. I mean, you can see it, it's in public record, right? They were mad about the guardrails being the courts. They were mad that the guardrails went up saying, no, you can't do this. In the near term future, they're going to have to spend some money on some lawyers, circles of support around money. This is going to take a while to kind of explain away. The judge is very passionate too. His rebuke was not subtle. His rebuke was pretty strong about them defying the order. Again, messages about money. I don't know how the judge could enforce the violation of the court order besides having people detained. I suppose he could fine people like the head of the Department of Homeland Security or people that were involved in it. I worry that the people that are going to get wrapped up into it are going to be people like the pilots of the plane who maybe not were never even told that there was a court order. Um, Now, if they were told there was a court order and they still continued to fly, then they probably do have some legal culpability. With the King of Wands and the hopes and fears, this is a hope that the judge can stay strong, stay passionate, and speak the truth. And the first outcome card, we get the Page of Pentacles, something coming forward that we don't know about with regards to money. I think maybe we need to read on that. That seems interesting. We get reunions and celebrations. That's good. And we get the Wheel of Fortune. It's a balancing act that could go one way or the other for the administration. And yeah, we get the Ten of Wands, really heavy burdens. We're going to start to hear more emotional stories or stories of an emotional nature about the people who were on these flights, probably not just against their will, but who probably shouldn't have been on the flights to begin with because there was no due process. And we get the full card, a new beginning, repayments of loans and debts. And the administration is going to have a hard time keeping up with this story. The story is going to get out ahead of them. They're not going to be able to keep up with it. And they're left out in the cold. Yeah, bombshells and surprises. And then the end of a dark cycle or complete and utter downfall with the Ten of Swords. And then we get the Sun card coming out, which reveals everything. I want to ask a clarifying question here. The Page of Pentacles here in the first outcome um, position makes me wonder what's going on with these prisons in El Salvador. Like, who's making money off of them in particular? Somebody is. And I have a feeling it's not the American taxpayer. That was sarcastic, obviously. Of course, it's not the American taxpayer. What can you tell us about who's profiting from these prisons in El Salvador, Panama, other places where they're taking these people that are being deported? Who's profiting off of that? Who's profiting? I see a dais like in the water, like you kind of see um, in the Senate when they're having Senate hearings. Makes me think there's so many billionaires in the administration, whether they're cabinet level or below that, that makes you wonder. So we get fighting, Five of Wands. Unlikely partners with the Lovers card. The Knight of Swords. This is a tipping point. It feels like it's a tipping point when this comes out. And I don't think we have the full story. I think there might be some stuff out there about it, but I don't think we have the full story. In the past, it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Here's this gift we're gonna give you so you make money with the Four of Cups. I mean, it's amazing with this administration how many times we pull the Seven of Swords. I think I had probably gone, I don't know, years without pulling the Seven of Swords in personal readings. It's very rare for the Seven of Swords to come up in a personal reading. It does happen because it refers to deceit. It can come up, but deceit, deception, thievery, it's not. But with these guys, it comes up all the time. The near-term future, it's like a big crossroads for the country and for the world on whether we're going to take the enlightened path or we're going to take the dark path. We get temperance, moderation. Yeah, the Ten of Cups, reunions and celebrations. Sleepless nights, anxiety. This is for a lot of people, unfortunately. I mean, you don't know anymore. The problem with the Alien Enemies Act, is that without due process, you're just automatically assumed that you should be deported. And, maybe you just don't have an ID on you, right? Or maybe you are from Venezuela, but you're not a gang member. It's like it's a mess. There's things behind the scenes we can't see. The high priestess. Nine of Pentacles, somebody's profiting, wealth, having everything they need. And the Fool card, a new beginning, a new way of things going about. And it's not a good new beginning. It's unfortunately these for-profit prisons, I think, are going to take more into effect. Here we get the Six of Swords, heading out of troubled water. The King of Wands. And the Hierophant. This is the courts getting involved. We get the Eight of Cups. This is him denying. This is the felon denying that he knows anything about this, but he knows. I'm not sure if he's profiting. And I don't think it's one person. I think it's a conglomerate, probably. We do get the Three of Swords, heartache, which makes perfect sense. And we get the end of a cycle, the World card. And the end of the cycle, I think, is just feeling secure. As a citizen, I've in my particular family, we have a lot of naturalized citizens in my family. And it's a concern, making sure you have your, there's a passport, then there's also a card that you can use as a passport for like day-to-day things that shows you're a citizen. So it's definitely a concern for a lot of people. Okay, so yeah, he signed it. He's denying it because he's worried about exposure. I don't want this deck. Okay, let's look at the felon in April. I had a vision of something kind of embarrassing happening to him. Nothing health related. Well, it might be health related, but something embarrassing happening in like the first week of April. That's what it felt like. It felt like April Fool's, like, he's the fool. So I'm just trying to think about how we should go about this. So let's pull from like 3 decks and let's pull 4 cards, maybe. That's how we want to do it. Yeah. What can you show us about the felon? Oh, wait, we forgot Anonymous first. Can you show us about Anonymous's threat to expose election interference? Will election interference be exposed? And will it be of a level that will spark investigations? Now, there'll have to be state investigations because there's not going to be any federal investigations. That ship has sailed. We don't have an independent DOJ, so that's not going to happen. Or at least, unless Pam Bondi comes and surprises us, but I don't think so. Will Anonymous expose these? So Anonymous is a hacking group. They come out with, videos, not super regularly, but they've called out the felon a few times. They've also called out other people too. Yeah, they're going to send out some new message about money being exchanged, perhaps, that they have. So in my election interference videos that were posted way back in December, um, you know, I I pretty I think accurately have gotten how Twitter was weaponized and how I think Elon Musk actually even created some like troll farms to go around sending messages and taking over accounts because the AI just isn't good enough yet to do that. It wouldn't surprise me because he probably hired hackers to do it, right? And then the hackers are probably all pretty tight knit, would be my guess. Yeah. The problem for the administrations is this is going to come at quite the cost if it is exposed. Yeah, they're worried that they no longer have control over the information, that the guardrails might fall with the Nine of Wands. In the past, they thought they were very clever. They thought they had found a new way of going about this with Musk and Twitter and people just kind of accepting it as fact because, you know, the majority of people don't use Twitter. Just don't, right? But if you were on Twitter during the election, I mean, I was getting DMs constantly from people claiming to be from Gaza, asking for money for their families who'd been torn apart by the war. I don't think they were real. Pretty sure they weren't. But, for this, and then, you'd get like the trending terms of uh, Harris is for genocide and stuff like that. That really affected young people. It really did. All you needed to do was visit a college campus. That's all you needed to do, and you would have saw the huge effects that had. We get the Three of Wands. It's inevitable because they're not going to whatever Anonymous is asking for, which is transparency and perhaps some other things. It's not going to happen. So they're going to probably try to shut down Twitter again, shut down Snapchat, keep interfering with TikTok, or they're just going to get fed up and they're going to release the information. In the near future, we get being left out in the cold. Let's keep going. That concerns me a little bit. No, I think we're okay. We get judgment after that. So I think the people being left out in the cold is the administration because in some weird way, they don't really have a say over what, Snapchat and TikTok decides to do. And they might have a little sway over Elon Musk, but I don't think it's as much as you think because I think Elon Musk is very much in the driver's seat on this game because he has something on the felon for entertainment purposes only. The administration very much feels confined, trapped. They're worried about exposure. Yeah, the hopes and fears, depending upon who you are, the hope probably for us is that the stuff comes out and it's, explosive and really changes people's minds. The fear for them is that it comes out. We get the Knight of Cups, a message coming forward that's really resonates, right? Emotionally, it resonates. And we get the card for the voters. And we get the fates turning once again. It's a question of how they're turning. So we keep getting those crossroads cards, the Two of Wands, That's what this is about. It's about which way are things going to go. Anonymous has planted the seeds with the Seven of Pentacles. They're willing to put the message forward. I think they might have a hard time organizing it because I think they probably have a lot of information and they want to, it needs to be presented in a cogent way that's not overwhelming. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So yeah, I think we might get some interesting information there. Okay, I think we'll pull a 9 card spread on the Felon in April. That seems, and then we'll maybe clarify it with 9 more cards on top. That seems the way to go. And I'll explain how these spreads work here in a second. Okay, what can you tell us about the Felon in April? How's the eclipse gonna affect them? How's this April gonna go? It's like, the first time there was, I think, a video of him walking up the flights of the plane and he had toilet paper on the bottom of his shoe. I get something like that, but it's like a little bit more embarrassing. And it's very clear that, it was a memory lapse or something that caused it to happen. It's just April. In the water, I see a set of keys. I don't know what that's about. We'll see if the cards maybe reveal what that's about. Justice, balancing things. It's the first card. Get the Queen of Wands, passion, energy, stability, repayment of loans and debts. 6 of Wands or 6 of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is going to be at the center. So something coming out about money that I think might be embarrassing, perhaps. We get the Queen of Swords, logic, consistency, things that we can't see with the High Priestess. These aren't good cards. Defending oneself, the 7 of Wands, and then the Knight of Swords, not being able to keep up, quick, fast moving things. So the way you read these is you read the diagonals. So it's like justice is coming in regards to something about money, and they're not going to be able to keep up with the story. So Justice, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. You read this diagonal this way. There's something that we can't see with regards to a message about money that's going to question the stability or security of his finances. And then these 4 cards are the cards that are in the environment around, which is passion, information about repayments of loans and debts, defending oneself, and logic and consistency being the theme, which doesn't refer to him. Underneath, again, we get the 7 of Swords, deception, deceit, thievery. So let's clarify these cards and see what we can get out of them. So I'm just going to deal 9 more over the top of them. That's usually what I do. What can you tell us about the Felon in April? Justice is coming. That's, I think, the big theme, and it has to do with something around money. It could be health. I mean, pentacles can be health. But in this case, I feel like it's about money. Either he doesn't have any, or, more evidence coming forward that he's defrauded charities, things like that. What can you tell us about the felon in April? So this is the unveiled tarot. This is becoming one of my new favorite decks. I'm getting an image of Melania. It feels like it's metaphorical, and this is exactly, but this best way to tell the story is I think she takes the set of keys and leaves. Like, I don't think she's actually gonna like file for divorce or anything like that, but I think emotionally she's probably already left and has been left. But tell us about the film. But I think part of that might become public, just how, not that anybody's gonna care, but you know. So on justice, we get the high priestess. So something that we don't know in regards to justice coming, that certainly does not sound good for him. The Queen of Wands is crossed or clarified, I mean, by the hanged man, pausing, suspension, rethinking. So the passion of the country is rethinking its position. We'll go through all these again. The Queen of Pentacles, the stability that's lost is the stability to nurture, um, like the wise choices around money are taken away because there's not enough money. That's what I'm getting. It's like everything's all super elaborate on the outside, right? Looks like she's a queen, but on the inside, she's just a normal person. So you can feel like you have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean you do. We get the Eight of Swords. That's really interesting over the Six of Pentacles. Confinement, feeling trapped about repayments of loans and debts. Hmm. Yikes. And we get the Devil card over the Knight of Pentacles. So mis and disinformation, abuse of power coming forward about money. Hmm. We get the Three of Pentacles, circles of support involving money on top of the Queen of Swords, which is about logic and consistency. Now, these outer cards are the peripheral energies. We get the Queen of Swords again, but this time over the High Priestess. So something that we don't know that's preventing this logic and consistency, consistent behavior, kind of sounds like blackmail. Uh, for entertainment purposes only. We get the Knight of Swords again as well. Not being able to keep up with things moving awfully quickly. Uh, yeah, that's pretty accurately depicted in that card. And that's over defending oneself. Not able to defend oneself because things are moving too quickly. And then we get wish fulfillment. Question is, who's the wish for? And heavy, heavy burdens underneath to go with deception with the Ten of Wands, clarifying the Seven of Swords. So in the center, there's something about money and abuse of power that's gonna be the center of attention in April. Money and abuse of power is going to be the center of attention, and there's going to be things that we don't know with regards to justice coming forward. So things we don't know, justice coming forward in regards to um, something to deal with abuse of power around money. The administration won't be able to keep up with it. We get the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, but I think this is for the people. I don't think that's his wish coming true. And then we get the Queen of Swords over the High Priestess, something we can't see keeping him from acting logically. Sorry, that backwards. Something we can't see preventing him from acting logically. It sure sounds like blackmail because we have abuse of power around money. Sounds like blackmail for entertainment purposes only. Stability is lost. Uh, there's not like enough influence around your money to be able to be nurturing. These are not good. This particular section here is also concerning repayments of loans and debts, clarified by the Eight of Swords, which is about confinement, entrapment, feeling he can't pay off the debt. But the debt, I don't think is actually a debt. I think it's like trying to keep information secret. This, I think, is more referring to the citizenry. They're very passionate right now. You can see it in the town halls with Bernie Sanders and AOC. And it's causing a lot of people to pause and really rethink their support of him. He's defending himself to the public, but it's not working because he can't keep up with the news cycle. Every day there's something worse coming out about them. Elon Musk having information of classified documents, and then, oh no, he doesn't. You signed this order, the judge said it was invalid. Oh wait, no, I didn't sign the order. It's that kind of stuff. They all kind of add up. And then we get circles of support around money, clarifying logic and thinking. It's like his thinking is being controlled by circles of support around money. Again, these are the cards. It sure sounds like blackmail. And that is the theme of what he's going through. I could be right, I could be wrong. This is just a tarot reading. It's for entertainment purposes only. But I think lots of stress, which isn't good, which I think ultimately is going to lead to some health issues, but we'll get more into that later. So again, huge thank you for everybody who watches, likes, shares, subscribes. If you're not subscribed, I would encourage you to subscribe. I appreciate everybody. Thank you.